Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Michael, and as always, we're going to be getting into some more stories. If you enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new, I'd appreciate if you subscribed. Without further ado, let's begin. This story was posted by a throwaway account in the relationship subreddit. The post is titled, "I feel like I made a huge mistake by marrying my wife, but I also feel like a huge hypocrite because I was the one who changed." My wife Sarah and I have been married for 7 years, and we have been together for a total of 10 years. I was raised in a very traditional and religious household and was brought up believing that men are the breadwinners and women should stay at home with the kids. Sarah was raised in an equally religious household and had similar views to mine. After college, I got a job doing financial work for a large company and moved to a different city. I didn't know anyone in the area and decided that attending one of the local churches would help me meet new people. Sarah was one of the church members, and I fell head over heels for her. She is one of the most beautiful women I have ever laid eyes on, and she is also extremely kind and caring. After a year of dating, I proposed to her, and we were married after a 2-year engagement. After the wedding, Sarah finished her degree and started talking about having children. I asked her to wait a few years until I was earning enough money, and she agreed. Kids went on the back burner for a while, and Sarah dedicated herself to creating a home for us while I went to work. A few years passed, and I finally got the promotion at work. Sarah was ecstatic, and we both agreed that we could have a baby. Sarah and I tried for only 2 months before she became pregnant. She was thrilled, but my happiness was mixed with a bit of apprehension and nervousness. I didn't know if I could handle taking care of another human, and it was scary. I decided to suck it up and put on a brave face for Sarah's sake. Our son was born, and Sarah devoted herself to caring for him. Because I had been promoted, I started spending less and less time at home. The job was demanding, and I was working 70+ hour weeks. I had to wake up earlier and earlier while Sarah stayed in bed and slept. When I came home, Sarah always looked relaxed and happy, playing with the baby. I know that I was being irrationally jealous, but I started to resent Sarah. Taking care of the baby seemed so much easier than my job, and I hated how all of the financial responsibility fell on me. It has been 2 years since I started feeling this resentment, and I started going to a therapist, but it's not helping. I hate coming home every day and trying to speak with Sarah. She has never had a job and does not understand how stressed I am from working. It's like I am speaking to a child whenever I try to discuss anything like finances or any topic more in depth than what is taught in high school. I don't want to be married to someone who doesn't feel like my equal. I know that this isn't Sarah's fault, but I feel like I am trapped and I just want out. Update. I made this post a few weeks ago about the resentment I started to feel toward my wife after I had been promoted at work. I just want to say thank you all for the advice, and I have a very happy update for you all. I took a week to think about the post and my own feelings. I talked it out in therapy, and I came to the conclusion that I could not keep working 70 hours a week. It was destroying my relationship with my wife and son, and it was also destroying my happiness. I spoke to my boss, and he was very understanding and told me that there was enough in the budget to hire an assistant for me. My assistant started 2 weeks ago, and my workload has been dramatically reduced. I have been able to work a normal 40-hour work week, and I am now finally coming home before 6 p.m. each weekday. I spoke with my best friend about my wife, and he knocked some sense into me. He told me how jealous he and the rest of our friends were of my wife and how lucky I was to be with a woman who is supermodel attractive, yet driven, kind, and compassionate. Later that night, I drank a bottle of scotch and got sloppy drunk. My wife found me puking in the bathroom, and in my drunken haze, I confessed everything I had been holding back. I told her how I felt left out because I wasn't around for our son, how I didn't feel connected to her the way I wanted to be, the whole 9 yards. She held me and let me cry it out, and she told me that she loved me. My wife and I are headed to couples counseling, and we have also signed up for cooking classes to build a shared hobby. She says that she will stay by me as long as I stay by her, no matter what happens. I love her and she loves me, and I think we are going to be okay. One last detail that I can't think to put anywhere else. All 3 of us are taking a month-long vacation after Christmas in order to have family bonding time. My wife and I both agree that we need this vacation. I am so glad that OP did not act without first talking about his thoughts. I think it is absolutely normal to have such thoughts, and they can drive you into a pit where you feel all alone. The important part is to recognize that, begin adjusting your mindset, and understand that no one is actually against you. As someone who gets obsessed with work, it's very important to take a break and step away if you find yourself slipping into an unhealthy mindset. It's good that OP was able to express his feelings not only to his best friend, but to his wife as well. This next story was made in the AITA subreddit by a user named Restaurant Crasher. The post is titled, "I ate at the same restaurant as my husband's family. I, 32F, have been married to my husband, 35M, for 3 years. We dated for 2 years before that. I want to start this off by saying that he really is a good guy in other areas. My husband's parents, his 2 brothers, ages 38 and around 40, and his brother's girlfriends and fiancés have a tradition of going out to dinner once a month. I'm invited about 50% of the time. I have talked to my husband's brother's fiancé, and she says she is invited every time. When I say I'm not invited, I mean that my husband tells me I'm going to the family dinner. It's probably best if you sit this one out. When I expressed that I wanted to come, he told me that it would be for the best if I didn't. It has caused several fights. About a week ago, my husband went to a family dinner that I wasn't invited to. I was very mad. So earlier that day, I called and made a reservation at the restaurant they were going to. My husband left the house not knowing about my reservation, and I left 15 minutes after him. I ended up seated at a table where I couldn't see his family, so I got up as if I were going to the bathroom and walked right past them. They were all there, including his brother's significant others. My husband looked completely shocked and asked me what I was doing there. I told him that I had just been dying for a steak, so I came to the restaurant to get one. My meal said it was very rude of me to interrupt their family dinner. I pointed out that I wasn't trying to join them, I was just going to the bathroom. I told them to have a good meal and I left. I went and finished my steak by myself. My husband was really mad when he came home, and he told me that he couldn't believe how much of a jerk I had been. I said that he was a jerk for not inviting me to his dinners when his brother's significant others were invited. My husband said that the decision to invite people was between him and his family, and that I should respect it. Anyway, with the way the word jerk was thrown around, it made me think of this sub, so I wanted to ask if I am the jerk. Am I? Update. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my post. I wasn't expecting it to get as many comments as it did. I'm trying to go through and read everyone's comments, but obviously that has taken some time and I'm still not done. This week has been a bit crazy, but I feel like I made enough progress to justify an update. Here's what's happened. Your comments gave me the confidence to confront my husband about why I wasn't invited, and I wouldn't settle for a cagey answer. So I asked him about it calmly, and he said something like, "Oh, it's just a family decision." So I said, "I'm your family though, I deserve to know why." He said some very vague things like, "Well, you just don't fit in as well as everyone else," and I asked him what that meant. He couldn't really explain it. I was thinking about how a lot of you were concerned about the racial dynamics of my relationship. Personally, I had never thought much about it. No one in his family has ever made a racist comment toward me or anyone else. But I wanted to cover my bases, so I asked my husband if I was excluded because I am half black. My husband said, and I quote, "No, it's not because of that. You know I don't care about that." The way he said it implied that someone cared, so I asked who cared. He said nobody. I asked if it was his mom who cared, and he hesitated and said maybe. After a long conversation of prodding him, here's the story I eventually got. His mom is not a fan of me. My race might factor into it, but he said it's also my personality, my political beliefs, and the fact that we went to my parents' house on Christmas Day the first year we started dating. His mom told him that he should think about finding someone who suited him better, and she encouraged him to take some time away from me. She said the family dinners would be a great opportunity for him to be with his family, where he fit in. I was invited sometimes because the dinners weren't always an excuse to get away from me, but some of them were. I was obviously devastated after hearing that, but it also felt good to finally hear an explanation. I asked him if he thought he needed even more space from me. He didn't even have time to answer before I went into the bedroom and started packing some clothes. I've been staying at my sister's house for a few days now. I haven't contacted my husband, I'm giving him his space. We'll probably end up separating or getting a divorce, but right now it's too early to tell. This was so hard to type out, but everyone was so supportive and I felt like I owed it to you all. Thank you again for your kindness. Initially, I wanted to say that it was fine if the husband didn't want OP at the dinners, if that was what his family chose. Inviting the brothers-in-law's wives was one thing, but finding out that the choice was largely based on race and other ancillary factors is where I disagree. If you don't like OP's personality, that's fine. Political beliefs I can also, at the very least, understand. But race is unacceptable. Again, at first I would have said OP going so far as to make a reservation at the same restaurant as the family was a bit excessive and unnecessary, but now it's hard for me to argue against her.